Well, hello everybody and welcome back. Please excuse the AC's running because it is extremely hot up this way the last few days. But here we are. We got the, I did a base white coat over top of the, a base white coat over top of the black pre-shading that I did, and that came out really good. Just kept it light. It was, the white gives it a good base coat for me to do and not have to use so much of this here because I have this in a smaller bottle. But I really like this. I'm going to see if I can get this in a larger bottle or just straight up. That's what it is. It's Anita's pale gray, or just get multiple bottles of it. I mean, this, I think it was probably only $1 or something, but I have a big bottle of white, so it's nice to sometimes use up that to get a couple of good base coats, especially with these craft acrylics, because like I said, it takes a lot of coats to get coverage. But on the bonus side is it really works really well on doing things that you want to still see other colors down through. So that's what we did. And here I already started painting these. These are the landing bay hatches and stuff. So I already started painting those, and you can see the difference. Probably, maybe not 100%, but you can kind of, there's a little bit of a difference in the shade. You can see the gray in it once you put it up against the white. But yeah, we're ready to go over to the spray booth and start spraying the main ship. But I think these came out good. And I'll have the closed version and the open versions. And then these are the parts that go in the main dorsal area there. You're still seeing a little bit of black coming through. I don't really have to worry about painting the bottom of these because it's always going to be closed. But I had to do both sides of those. That one has a hell of a mold release, but that's okay. They're going to be hidden by so much landing gear parts and stuff. But I really couldn't be more happier. It is looking good. Almost completely finished with spraying this ship. I even put those pieces in. But we're going to remove... Where's my X-Acto blade? There it is. We're going to remove this masking tape for the engines, because we're going to do our last couple coats. Hopefully here. We wanted to mask most of it, especially the black, which we know that's working good. These last couple coats, we're going to do in the hull color. I got somehow a little bit of white ran underneath here, but that's not a complete problem except for just a nuisance. Let's try this other one. This other one didn't have a wrinkle, so we're probably much better off. Tell you what, that tape really wants to hold on there. It's been on there for a while too. I don't even think tweezers will grab it because it's so thin. I can get a little more for my fingers to get it. There we go. I always try to pull around the curve like that. Well, and we're a little bit up on the rim. But I think the black on the inside will cure all that too, because we masked both sides. So I didn't get any of the plastic glowing all funky either. And that was the bonuses of using a water-based acrylic, because it's easy to clean things. Even if you're using them to do other colors on top of a color, if you seal the color below and you get a little overspray or something runs past the tape line, you can just come in with clean wet Q-tip. That's cleaning those edges up really nice. But there we go. I'm going to go put some coats on there, and some other areas I just want to touch up and make sure. Most of it's because of these wings going up and down. I want to scrape on these edges. I need a little bit here because that's where I had the wings up when I was painting. Need maybe a little bit more there. I still see a black line. But we'll be back. Oh, hello everybody. She is all painted and I got a clear coat on her. So it's looking good. I just have it temporarily up on its base. It's actually, this base is pretty stable. You know, I wasn't expecting that. I figured she'd be like quite wobbly, but you can, and the ship's not on its post solidly, but yeah, I can do stuff like that and spin it around, and this thing is not weeble wobbling at all. So I'm happy about that. I might just leave it just like that. Simple, and that's it. But like I said, we got it's all clear coated and all painted, and hopefully when we lift the wings up we don't get any more scratches. I let it sit overnight because painting this was great, because you gotta kind of paint it with the wings down and then paint it with the wings up, because you gotta get all these areas here, you know, are hidden in different wing positions, so you got to get the full throw. But then it wants to, it's really tight here, mainly on this side. You have a little more gap up here for it to move, but it's really tight right there, and that's that little piece, that the top and bottom, it's all by itself in between these two. This is a fragile area here because that's easy, you know, for it to pop open, because it only has just, you know, it's just a little flap, where this here has some strength to it because it's bigger, and even here and there. But, well, these two alone, but this at least has this rear part. But it's looking good. I got the center pieces in here. I just did those with black and in the pale gray to kind of give them a tint off. And you're not seeing that in the camera because it's too far away. See if I can get it in this one. You'll see it's just a shade off, and that's what I wanted. And then we're gonna do these in the gray, and I'm not sure on the wings. I think here it's here, and then on the bottom it's this further one. If I remember correctly, I have photos to know for sure. But I just wanted that just a little off color. And since I did this rest of the ship in a white, just not to use up all my pale gray, and then went back over it with the pale gray to give it the color that I wanted. It's a little lighter here, but with doing the black and just the pale gray, it made this a shade off. So that's cool. Just giving those little differences in panel lines. You could easily just gone back and just use the pale gray and maybe added a little more of a black, or another, darken it down just a shade. You could do it that way. Basically what I'm going to kind of do with these, well, these I might actually pick a gray. Sometimes it's good to take the base color and just shade it off a couple. So maybe I'll try both to see what looks the best. So she is, like I said, just temporary on her base, just sitting. But all the lights are working. I just did a test fit with the windscreen here. They had two little posts like little tiny ones. I guess to hold that up, I don't know. I got rid of those, sanded those off, and then I had to do a little bit of sanding here on these edges. Well, on this whole edge here and here. But I actually had to do a little sanding this way, and in the inside, the console was actually pushing the window and kept popping it up. So I actually had to take my Dremel and just on the insides of the window. It's not going to matter because I'm going to hit that with the I'm going to mix up a transparent black because this is supposed to be tinted, but I want to still see a little bit of lights in there from the cockpit. I still want to see all that kind of in there. Kind of like when you look at a car with a tinted window, you can kind of see the lights, but you really can't see the people. And then I'm going to leave this so it can come off, so we can look inside. It's fitting on there a lot better. I might have to tweak a little more, because we do have, and there's some, I took the masking tape off here because I just wanted to see what it looked like. Getting excited, so I wanted to see what it looked like with it off. I'll have to mask it again when I do a clear coat because I want to keep this in here a little more on the satin side where the ship's going to be on the flat side. Now it's shiny because we're going to do a wash, and it's just so much easier to do a wash on a shiny ship. And the engines are glowing good. I might actually leave the lights down here painted white because it dimmed them down. I actually have a vinyl mask over it, and then, whatever got hit when it was painted, but I like how it's not so like floodlights. She's drooping. I like how it's not floodlights down there anymore. Before it was like boom, boom every time it flashed on. Now it's not so bad. And to scale, it's not, it brought it down as far as brightness more to scale of the actual ship. And let's see if I can get her spun around to see the engines. And the engines came out great. Now a little bit of this marbling you're seeing, that's just the plastic. Nothing we can do about that. That's the way, the colors that made the color that they molded out. That's the swirling of those. Or it can be even just thickness. But I'm thinking it's more just color imperfections in the plastic. You'll see it sometimes actually in the plastic where say it's a red part, but you see like a lighter red marbling through. But I just wanted to give you a little update. I'm going to get ready to mask those 3 squares on each side of the dorsal fin. And I'm going to start doing those panels. Just simple tape off and hit with the airbrush. Also, I'm going to start tackling this. Yeah, I got the landing gear done too, and all the doors. Like I said, for the closed ones, I'm going to use a magnet, and then I'll have these that I can take on and off when I want the landing gear in. Because there'll be sometimes I might have this like she's coming in for a landing, not fully up, because that would be she was on the ground, but maybe the wings are starting to close like she's coming down. And that's where I might want the landing gear, and maybe even have the ramp down so you can kind of see up, even though the ramp wouldn't be down until they landed, but just to give you visuals. Yeah, and then on this window here, I'm going to do the thin coats of black. I'm going to thin it down too. Try to make my own smoke. Smoke, if you have Tamiya smoke, I don't. If you have Tamiya smoke, which I got to order a bottle, that would work. And just lightly spray it on and check. And then lightly spray it on until you get the right shading you want. And then the outside I'm going to leave shiny as much as possible. I mean, this kit is old. It's been bouncing around in a box. And they didn't put like any plastic covering. They don't bag the parts back then. So it's got scratches just from bouncing around in there. I don't know if I have some polishes that can you need those plastic polishes like for your headlights might work. to get rid of it because it's very light. You know, they're not gouged, they're just more like scuffs. But I'm hoping maybe once I put that black tint on it, that'll hide a lot of that. Same thing where this ugly sprue was attached here. I don't know why they don't come from below. Like Bondi would have probably came from below. But that will start doing, and then I want to try to do, I'd love to get the white stripe here to simulate the, you know, the cockpit frame, because it's really, these windows are three pieces. One big one in the center and then the two side ones, and it kind of, from what I'm seeing in pictures, it's not right on the side bend like you would think. It's actually off where it's flat. Those little bars come. It's almost like the side windows comes up and curves, and then there's this separation. So that will be just taping that off where I want it. Then I'll probably hit a black, taping it off where I want it, and then I might try to see if I can get in there and scuff a little bit to give it the paint some tooth. And then I think I'll go over black just in case any of the buttons are too bright. We won't get a light, you know, with a white, you'll be able to see through. And it'll also have the black there in the back too. And then we'll lay the pale gray, and then that'll make it look like it's a three-piece window, like it's supposed to be. So, I mean, you can get off with just not even worried about that, but that would be a neat feature. And I got to remember to clear that before I unmask, because I'm gonna mask this whole upper window so it's completely covered, so I can paint that and then give it a clear, then peel it off. It should work. Well, okay, I got the top parts masked off, the parts on the wings here, as you can see. This light a little more back. These, it's up a little higher. And then I got these on both sides ready to go. I just got to do the bottom ones here, which I'll get to right now. Now this is going to be the bottom square here, kind of detail work. My phone's about ready to die. Oh well. But this is going to be this part right here that we're going to mask off. See if I can get in a better camera. Do it off this one. But I also got to see too. Alright, we'll go with and these are pretty straight lines, and they got edging that I'm going around. Now now there's a raised panel, and then there's this panel line. I'm going off that panel line from what I've seen on the actual filming miniature. It's more the panel line on top of this raised panel. So that's what we're doing. That's what we masked off on the wings, both sides. Now looks good. It's kind of hard. There's no way to sit the ship. I should have left it on the base. If I do it this way, will I be able? Nope. Yeah. Just gonna kind of do things like this, so I can see how straight and tight my lines are to that panel line. There we go. Maybe I can do this. Yeah, that's the way to do it. But now that puts that arm way up in the air. I can do that one there in camera. This one we just got the sides to do. I don't have to go crazy with the masking. I'm going to have the pressure down low, and I'm not going to blast a lot of color on here. It's just to make these panels a little off. More than that center one I did in the dorsal. You guys can probably see this one. And even if this didn't have that, I would do this, you know, on random panels. But this already has a distinct design where these are the same. Like the AT-AT, I picked panels and made them a little off color, using the base color and just darkening it a little bit. This I'm going to go with a straight up different gray. Not starting out with the base. I'm going to actually just hit it with a little bit of Tamiya's Sky Gray XF19. I think that gives me the right shade. Maybe a little more on the dark side if I go heavy, but since I'm spraying over top of a light color, it will be fairly light before it really drops down to its normal color. So we can adjust that by how heavy I spray. Are we done? That's it. Simple as that. So I'm going to go spray. Okay, we're back from the paint booth. And I think it's cured up enough. Here's little Darth Vader. I gotta still see if I can get him in there. I'm thinking I'm gonna be able to get him in through that way. And then he has that foot that's sitting kind of down on the ramp, so we'll see if we can get him up in there. Let's start taking some off here. And move you, Darth Vader. He actually came out pretty good. I did him in, you know, a satin for his body, his clothes, and his boots and stuff. And then his cape I did on a flat black. So that gives you the contrast between the sheen. And I just did a couple colored buttons on his panel. That's about all your ever detail you're going to get on him. Alright. See if I can get this in camera here. Sort of, kind of. And the tape has gone over and touched each other. This is going to be the one you'll probably see better. Yeah. That looks great. And just those little things gives so much more detail to the ship. Just having those panels, and you don't have to go heavy. So this one's kind of attached, so let's just take him right off to the front. And that looks great. Yeah, see, that one's just supposed to be, you know, not the whole raised panel, but that other little section I think looks the best. And that's the way it seems like on the miniature. I should get Lauren Peterson's book out and look. That would have probably been, but from all the pictures I see of the movie shots, that's the way that one looks. It's just on that, not on the full raised, but just on the next little panel. And like I said, on the bottoms, it's just that last one. And I like how I didn't fill them in perfect. You'll see the little light spots and little dark spots. That works to your advantage. Sometimes I forget to check, make sure I'm in camera view. What happened here? Oh, we're still folded over on the other one. That's what it is. And I just used some pinstriping tape for in between. It actually fit. I didn't have to cut anything. It actually, the pinstriping tape fit right in on those areas there. And that looks good. Like I said, I didn't make them completely evenly painted. I just kind of colored them in. You can have some light and dark spots. It kind of adds to a weathered look. This one's a little easier because I don't have the other one on the other side grabbing. Beautiful. And that's really it for as far as painting detail on this ship. And here you can probably get a better look at how the engines are just lightly dusted, just to add that color, so we don't have a lot of paint on here. Being that it's a white-ish pale gray is what it's called, it glows the light through pretty good. I'm still trying to figure out, like, I probably don't want a lot of wash here. I want it probably pretty clean. But yeah, now we can see what it looks like with all the... And when it's head on, it's, you know, it's not as noticeable. And then I like how this is a little less darker than those. That middle one that you actually glue in. So that gives all kinds of nice differences in scaling. I wish these closed in a little more. I might fill them up a little more. But once we hit a wash on it, that's all going to help hide it too. And then I can get in here and start painting on the landing gear. I can start painting the parts that I want to be the actual silver part. The actual piston that goes in and out. I think we're going to do most definitely that on the part that I made. Most definitely that part on this part they have. I'm not sure on this one. I think I make it the bottom part. Because you could do that silver and then silver in between these white loops and then that silver. But I'm going to think it's like a coupling here. Or you could have it just silver in there like those move. But. So it is going to be next, as far as this part of the ship, is going to be a wash. Get a wash on, seal it, then do some pastels, and then do our final clear. Alright. That is the front. So you go this way. And I do have to fine tune these to go in a little easier. I mean, I like that they have a little bit of a tightness to it, but they're getting to the point where the one is getting to the point where it's hard to get in there. And I don't want to break off the piece that I made. Alright, let's see if I can figure out. Actually, you can go by this. If that is you, then the one that goes on this side will be you and you. And the other side should be the opposite. So then this goes here. I don't know if I put this together with all the hatch bays. And I'm hoping these are a good press fit. They had some flanging which I left on a little bit. They are a good press fit. I don't know if I should try to get it all the way up there. Be careful with that gun. There's too many little guns you can bounce into. That's there we go. Yeah, that one worked good. Can't get this one to work good. I thought I went through and tested all these. This one's gonna go in good. Just you're a little still fat on this edge here. Actually, altogether it's a little large. That whole channel might even have to be loosened up. But I think it's going to be easier to just fix this first. This leg is a little thicker than the other. I can even see it visually. And it's not just flashing, like it did have some pretty good flashing. Really, neither of them really want to go in there as nice as the others. I guess 3 out of 4 ain't bad. There, that's all I had to do to that one. That side. This one's just a train wreck. It's mostly at the tip here. And my color is so close to the actual plastic color, I might not even have to do much of a touch-up on that. I'll just hit it with a brush. We're going to leave it like that. I just want to see what it looks like with landing gear on. Or bay doors. Oh yeah, that's going to be cool. It adds so much detail. But alright, there she is. Just wanted to show you that. Next is weathering, but we probably will... Got to get this window wherever it went. These go back in here. I thought, yeah, there it is. We just got to get this window tinted. Still wants to pop up, like I said. I still think there's a... I had it staying down earlier today. It feels more like there's an issue in that way. Like I almost gotta heat it up and try to just get a little more of a bend there. Yeah, even just doing that helped. But it's sitting, its edge, it's sitting nice everywhere as far as flushness. It's just got to stay down. I had that working. It might have been the friction from where I sanded. So I got to kind of see where we're pushing up, and some of it might even be the front. But see, it fits in there pretty good, and I can wiggle it, so that's... I think it's more it's hitting these, and these are pushing it up. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe this edge is hitting a little bit and causing it to poke up. We'll see. I'll just lightly sand with really fine paper until it settles down in there, and just keep looking to see where it looks tight. Right here it looks a little tight, but hey, there we are in the Shuttle Tydirium. Working on the window right now. The ship, we got, like I said, we got the gray areas painted. All those there. These guys here on the underside. So that's all there is. There's one on each side of the wing, and then these 3 on each side of the dorsal. Got those in, and I hit them with a clear. Seal those in for the wash. Cleaned up any of the little boogery stuff where a little bit of paint white leaked through there on the cockpit. Cleaned all that up, so that looks good. I think I got the window fitting in there okay, as best as I think she'll do. So what we're doing now is I taped off 2 stripes. We're going to separate, we're going to paint those canopy like supports here, because this windshield is actually not one full one, it's actually 3 pieces. And I also noticed that the support here is kind of up on the flat, so it's kind of like the side windows of the shuttle come up and then curve and get to a flattened end. So that's what I'm doing. They're not right on the bend, so it's not like the support is a bend. The actual windshield actually bends. It's more up on the top. So that's what I did, and it's just slightly over on the bend. So I did that. I hit it with a little black just to make sure we don't get a massive load of light through that. I probably should hit it with another one because it's still a little transparent. And this black's drying pretty quick, so. And I'm just hand painting them on here because I'm just lightly. I hope that's down tight. In that corner there. Maybe just lightly with a brush. Because if you go too heavy, you'll actually get so much that it'll want to soak in. This is where you can have more bleeding under your tape than like with spraying. Unless you spray real heavy. But if you do your first coats when you mask something like this, if you do them really light, it'll actually seal that edge. I think we're dry, yeah. It's a nice thing about these acrylics, they dry so quick. Especially the thinner based. And I'm just gonna hit it with a little hot color. And then the black will give it a little pre-shading kind of effect too. But the main reason is to block any light, since it's clear plastic underneath. Block any of the light. And we'll have to do several coats because craft acrylics don't really cover well, especially a light color over an extreme white over black, pretty much. And then we're gonna do the underneath. You can see the striping now, and then we're gonna do the underneath. We're gonna try to shade it, so I'm gonna thin down some black. I think I'm gonna use one of my Tamiya. I don't have smoke. That would be the way to go. But we can create smoke. Really, all their smoke is really thinned out, almost like a wash acrylic. Now I'm wondering if I should use the flat black or if I should hit it with a glossy black. I'm afraid the glossy black would be heavy. I might try the glossy black. I'm going to do a test piece too. A little clear piece of plastic. See what it looks like. Is it dry enough? I think so. I think I can get another coat on there. It's drying pretty quick. It's a little drier out today. You can tell the humidity when you're painting with these. Is it if they dry extremely quick when you're painting it thin like this, it usually means it's the atmosphere is pretty dry. I figured I'd do this first because I'm going to need to tape all this off anyway to do the black. So, the tint. So what we'll do is I think the best thing to do would be to clear over this, because we're going to clear it to seal it down. I did scuff the plastic too. I laid the tape down to mask what I wanted to do, and then I took a little sandpaper and kind of scuffed that area so it gives the paint a little something to grab on. And then being it's a Tamiya acrylic, that's a solvent based acrylic, hopefully that'll grab a little better too. Yeah, it is really dry out today because this is taking no time. And I've been kind of pretty distracted because I got my FDM printer. And I've been having fun with that. But mainly just learning. I only printed their test print, which is a Buddha guy. I call him Little Buddha. And then I ordered some stuff off of Etsy. These little toy dragons. I haven't cleaned them up. But these little toy dragons, so I printed him for a good test print. I got to clean up these are the flanges it puts on the base. But all that should come off. Should actually just, these outer ones really want to come off here. I can actually get that off right now. For the most part. Still new, so I don't know how hard I can really pull at these. But yeah, they're breaking away pretty good. At least the outer ones. I'll probably have to, the ones that are right next to the toes and everything here. I got like 3 or 4 build lines. Yeah, I opened a can of worms. Oh, and look at how that, it's so much you can't see, and that's the moving parts of it. Maybe if I bring that around, it'll pull it off. Yeah. For the most part, wow, I thought this would be harder. Now, like I said, you do have to clean up close to them. Sorry, this is turning into a cleaning 3D printed parts. Alright, I think that's far enough with him. I'm sorry. Oh. One easy way to get out of here. Cut him. There we go. So yeah, I'm going to have a lot of scrapped stuff like this. As you can see, now his head and legs move. I don't know if he's supposed to move. I think he is. He's still kind of frozen there. Maybe not. Maybe that's not supposed to move. Maybe it's just supposed to be his legs. I thought like the whole tail section would move. Or those did fuse together. I think they did fuse together. I think they're supposed to. I think. Just like that, I would think that would move. But they are fused. So I could be wrong. That might just be how they hold together. It's just weird that the only thing that moves is the legs. And that could be the way it printed too. You know, if I get in a finer detail, it might do a little better job of. But it did a great job up here. But we don't see. I have movement there, but I only have a little bit here. But that could be, yeah. There's still gunk in there. Like I said, I can get this here. I don't know if after a while we keep doing that he'll start to move a little more free. But that's him. And I want to print these like in a multicolor for the kids. But anyway, that's what I've been doing. Mainly learning different systems. So I can make my own files. So I got FreeCAD and been just watching videos on that and how to use that because I want to make a lot of tool holders. I want to make a tool holder for all the tools that I need right by the printers so it's organized because I have OCD and I hate when I have to search for things because sometimes you need something really fast and I don't want to be sitting around waiting. Like if I need to adjust something, especially like say the tension for the gripper that feeds the filament. You know, if that needs adjustment, I can do it while it's starting, because I did. I noticed it when it was starting to try to build the outer fill, that I could get in there and adjust it so it grabs better. You know, and my spatulas and stuff. And then I got my resin printer, the 2K, the Saturn 2 8K is coming. That should be here in a day or two. I think that's enough coverage. We'll let that dry. Now, do I brush on just a clear coat? Which I do have a clear. Here's a matte clear. That's a matte. Do I have a flat? I think they gave me a flat. That's a gloss, so we want to go to matte. I don't know why they gave you a gloss with the... These are what came Revell from the AT-AT. I don't know why you'd have a gloss for the AT-AT. And then I went also here on the landing gear, I hit all the pistons with some silver. On both of those. So those work good. I got all these filed down so they fit underneath, but yet snug, so I don't have to glue them. So if I want to change between the open with the landing gear and the closed hatches that I have here, which I got to put magnets on the underside yet, and I got to put magnets on the bottom of the ship. It's great that it has that round detail that I can put. I got a bunch of these little magnets I got for the Falcon, for the D'Agostine Falcon, which now I believe is fan home. Must have a little bit of debris. But I use these for the side, so I'll just stick one to that, and I think it'll have enough strength even. I don't even think I'll have to. No, as long as we get fairly close, it's going to want to pull it up. So. I might build a little thing to make it get closer. And then we got to paint these pilots yet. There's a lot of flanging around the head and on the feet. It almost looks like a fish. He's so dorsaled out. But they're not much detail to them because they're small. So that's nice in so many ways. Darth Vader looks good. So I got to figure out how to get him in there, because I should put him in there before I closed it up. But so well, let's see how this matte clear, milky clear, actually works. And we should probably use a clean brush. Let's use you. You're a little more on the clean side. And hopefully this will seal it down. Hopefully it's stirred, because it's so full. And a lot of times mattes have a catalyst in them. Mattes and satins are really a glossy paint with a catalyst in them. And if you don't get that all stirred up really well, you could run into it being shiny. That's why your satins and your matte rattle cans, you want to make sure you shake the heck out of them. And I think that'll do the trick. And I'm not even sure if those are water-based, these paints. I'm going to say they probably are acrylic. But that's all there's to it. We'll let that dry, and then we'll do this underneath here. But I got some testing to do.